has received his PhD from University of Kaiserslautern, Germany. He is currently serving the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. His area of interest are waterways, geothermal extraction system, carbon sequestration, and underground modeling. He specialized in fluid mechanics too. He has nearly 191 publications, 25 conference proceedings, 2 books, and 1,370 citations. He has also been a part of around 8 projects like magnetoelectric effects in unsymmetric laminated composites, magnetostructive thin film actuators, impact response of SMA composites, and many more. On this note, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Please, you can go to the sessions.
Yeah. So, good afternoon to all of you. I know this is a post-lunch session. It will be very tiring for you and for me to sit and listen to some of the topics. But nevertheless, means we have to do no other way. Like how we are in pandemic, and means we are all we never seen in our life possibly about this lockdown, and this is the time we understand what you mean by lockdown and so on. So, like that, sometimes even though whether we like it or not, we were forced to do that. So let's go back to the topic. And this topic, which I personally prefer to have, means very few slides from my side. And I would prefer to have, like, means interaction session. You can ask the question or you can type the questions, and let's see how I can answer if I am able to tell you immediately. If not, I mean, possibly we can later stage contact by email and give information to you. All right. So it was given to me, like, means we have to talk about this research for undergrad. That's the topic which was been given to give a lecture today. So I was searching, means basically, means in the simplest way to to re-look into the research, the word. What do you mean research, and what's puzzling around for us to understand that? So I was telling, I mean, when I looked into this one, I could also look into, means in the Google and see that one, how we can pronounce or how we can understand and why the name emulated, like, means research. So in my perspective, this will be like that. Means we will be always searching for something, and re is adding along with that one. So you keep on searching for the solution for that one. Possibly that could be called research for this one. So it's not only searching, keep on searching until we get, means the final converged solution for a problem definition which we have in our mind. This is what we are calling as a research. So, I mean, means one would argue that why do you need to do the research? Why not only development and then leave with that one? So, of course, means, means the development is an extension of this one. Until we know that, means this could be the possible solution, it might be difficult for us sometimes to go furthermore in development. There may be some other issues also might happen in development. I mean, in my opinion, research and development generally we call as R&D. This is like something like, we have two legs, so, or two hands. So it is mandatory. It means which one is going front and which one is going to go back. It doesn't matter for this one, but it should be in such a way that one should be a win-win situation for both work together. Then possibly, means it might be very interesting for us to take it up furthermore. To give an example, like in practical situations, I mean, you and I are aware of that one. Means the strategy on products is also keep on changing. So it is not only when we are doing to do the research. It doesn't mean that one, means it's only, go to academic or working on journal papers or patent. It is not like that. It is also important nowadays, means those who are doing the research, they will also, I'm sure that one in abroad, there is a lot of avenue available for those who are doing the research to go to venture inside the companies and the research labs. In India also, it is started off coming up. I mean, many companies started off recruiting and the researchers based on the project, what they have and how to handle that one. That's an idea of this one. So R and D, it is going to be this, like, means both of them should hand in hand and go together then only the things will get better and better for this one. So I used to give this typical example, means some years ago, means possibly in 2000, early 2000, and we would have been seeing this one. If you buy a product, what we'll say, we will always ask that one, what could be the possible life of this product. So we will ensure that one, we wanted something like at least 10 years the life should be there, or at least 7 years, or at least 5 years, something like that. So earlier days, if you look into the washing machine or refrigerators, we keep it for a long time, 10 years life here. But now the strategy is completely changing, right? Even in the same thing in the mobile phones also. So now the things are changing in such a way that one, like, means most of the companies used to go 1 year warranty or 2 years warranty. For some companies used to give for 5 years warranty for washing machine or refrigerator, for a specific parts also. So what we would prefer that one, okay, let us, means let us use it for that 5 years or 3 years. And then we might go for, annual maintenance cost, means AMC will try to do, and maybe 2 more years, and then we will discard it. I mean, we don't discard it. Now the strategy is something like a buyback option. So you place it and then get the new one with that one. So something like that it is there. So particularly in the mobile phone scenario, things are substantially changing. Means, 2 years before what we have the mobile phone, now it's the configuration is completely changed. So even the life of the mobile phone is reducing to 2 years. Sometimes it may be reducing to 1 year also. So, which means that when the development really mandates, like, means we have to be very, really in a competitive business when you want to start something on developing that one. So, suppose if you miss out the bus, then it will be very difficult because many other players will also be available in the market, and we may not be able to sustain the market for that one. So that thought process, and then do the research, and then the taking the development, it's all really matters for that one. Like for example, one more example, some many of you would have been seeing this one is this like a Tata Ace. There is still many people have using this Tata Ace. It's a small 1 ton capacity. So what it is happening in early 2000, and Tata Motors, like, means they try to understand that one after some time due to the due to the population, increasing the population inside the city, the bigger trucks may not be allowed to travel in from morning till evening. So even today, bigger trucks, until they get the permission, they are not supposed to come inside the camp, inside the city. Possibly, means from morning 8 o'clock till evening 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So the bigger trucks are allowed to come inside the city only in the late evening until this early morning for that one. So they were thinking that in that case, what will happen? So suppose one of the other day it is going to come, and if you make a truck, possibly that new norms, government policy might come that one. It might need to go with 1 tonnage capacity, and the size of the vehicle also matters. Like, means very lengthy vehicles, they may not allow inside the city. So we need to come up with an alternative design for this one. So that is the way how the small truck, like, means the Tata sort of thinking about that one, and they developed that vehicle, and then it was, I mean, means for 10 years they have been in the market. Like after that only Mahindra and means like Ashok Leyland and all of them, they picked up little later, but then initial market completely gone to Tata Motors. So as soon as the vehicle was launched, and it was very successful, means from the usage perspective. Like this, there are many things. I mean, earlier also, means once, I mean, 90s, when you take our 90s, Tata Sumo is one of the vehicle. It is called SUV. During that time, we have only two concepts: smaller cars and bigger cars. So in between, they come up with SUV, which we wanted to drive and travel in a long run. One of the other day, possibly, means you mean, of course, they had a Tata Safari, but Tata Safari, means it's very expensive for people cannot afford. So can we go with in between some other range? Then say they come up with the Tata Sumo, like, means you can have 6 to 7 people can sit in that one, at least, means 6 people. And on top of that one, I mean, for a long run or for as a rental vehicle, that may be comfortable. Then Toyota Qualis came, and then Mahindra Bolero came, and then all these things are now obsolete, and then they come up with like, sophisticated SUVs and so on. So So this is the way how, means the development and the lifestyle of people also trying to change the development of our requirements, which in turn also look into this research. I'm just giving an example from one perspective. This is not only one case. If you take a computers, that is the same thing. I mean, suppose like early 2000, if you open say computers and back to this one, you will have many circuits. But now it's no more. You will have only one motherboard and it's all press fit options in that one. In each and everything means there is a substantial development. In order to have a development, first we need to understand the fundamentals and search, means keep on searching whether that fundamentals can be fitted for the development and how to link with that one. That's the basic idea. Like means that's all people are looking at it and then and going in that particular direction. So absolutely that whether you are doing research or development, it doesn't matter that one. Industries they need not only development, they also need the research to take into account of this particular concept. Having said this one, so let us see that one, means particularly for the undergrad. So I mean, I'm talking about this UG graduates, BTech or BE. So, I mean, means after we do this schooling and then after the plus two, when you join the institute, like, means we will be coming up with some of us will be coming with, okay, means now onwards, means we will be, means one, we would have been having a myth and then college is much freer than the schools because we were being forced to study day and night for plus two exams so that we will be comfortable once in college. That may be right, there may not be also right. But it depends upon the way how we are taking forward. That really matters for us. So done. So we joined in the institute in X or Y institute and then started our first year. So generally what we will do first year, we try to look into that, means new atmosphere, lot of freedom possibly. So we try to accommodate ourselves, we try to understand that. Then the first year, some of us will be keen on deciding the path how we wanted to proceed. And whether it is going to be successful or not, that's a different story. But at least some of us think that one, okay, this is just the first year. So let us look into that one after second year because it's a generic subject which we are going to study in the first year. Maybe the second year we might go to mechanical engineering or civil engineering or computer science or electronics. We do not know. Means I mean, and that time let us focus on our own stream rather. I'm not bothering about means basic courses on this one. Some people will also think that one, no. From first year onwards, let us be sincere. Let us think about that one. Like this is the way how our thought process will start. Of course, we will have diverse of opinion, which is the fact. Everywhere we need to have diverse of opinion, and we have to have a right to opinion ourselves also. And sometimes our opinion, based on our opinion, we may be successful. Sometimes we may not be successful. It doesn't matter for this one. Of course, if we are not successful, then means we will look into the alternative path. This is what it is happening in research also, right? You are searching for that one, you understand the solution, but then and solution what we think is right, but it may not be. So doesn't matter. We go back once again to look into that one. So this is the way how our classical life is also going on with respect to means either workload or life or anything like that. It will be keep on going on the research. So and then okay, means we are coming to the second year. So once we started off the second year, okay, we started off with our core courses. Okay. So when we started off working on the core courses, some of us will be fascinated towards some topics, or like in the area of astronomics, I wanted to work. Some of us we wanted to work in VLSI design. Some of us will be telling that when today machine learning. Our seniors or I mean, elder brothers or sisters maybe you telling that no, you focus on and today artificial intelligence is one of the state of the art problem. Some people will say no, development of biological systems for our country is not explored. Maybe 10 years of the next 10 years, maybe biological systems may be different. Some people will say, oh, no, automation is mandatory. So, I mean, there are many industries, MNCs are trying to reduce the manpower in order to make this automation like that. Some people will say, means how Amazon operates. Means, I mean, they have been giving you a lot of offers and, how will be the, means their system operates. It's all depends upon how how artificial intelligence used for e-commerce business. Yes, like this, means there will be a lot of ideas and the thought process will be pondering around us. And in the second year, then we started off thinking ourselves, okay, where do I fit? Sometimes what we see this one, we will wait for, the second year, particularly third semester and fourth semester results, and see this one, possibly in some of the teachers maybe making you to get fascinated towards a particular topic. Sometimes, as a teacher, we also make that one, oh, this is the subject which you should not enter. The way how we badly teach, that may make you not to touch that topic also. It may happen that way also. But nevertheless, at least you might be able to, we might be able to see, okay, let's go for in this particular, like the directions, software development. Somebody will tell that one, okay, I will go for, sensor development. And somebody, let us talk about the high voltage, high voltage setups, electrical engineers. So communication, they will be looking at it, okay, the recent trend is 5G, can we go in that direction? So something like that, some of the teachers will give you sometimes, we will be trying to understand that one, even though many basic courses, but many streams available, we might be thinking that, okay, this particular stream possibly may be comfortable for me, at least to get an idea. Sometimes it may not work also. Means we may be changing third year, fourth year. That everyone, every time for everybody is happening. That's not a problem. But possibly we might be thinking about based on either based on this, our own interest, or based on somebody telling us and the way how they try to convince us in the particular topic, we may get convinced. Sometimes the way how badly the topic was communicated to us, that also make not to go for that particular area. We will be pushing out ourselves to the other topics also. This is so these are all, it's the chicken again, the egg problem. So we keep on pondering around, but at the end of the day, we will be able to most likely to understand them to some extent. Even today, everyone is access to this Google and, seniors people and also teachers and the mentors, our family members. So all of us, we will be trying to understand, learning this, all these things. Okay. Then the third year starts. So third year, we will be going for a little bit more in-depth about the fundamental courses. The second year, basically in the stream, what we want, maybe electrical engineering, computer science, the fundamental courses related to your stream will start. Third year, we will be little more in-depth about the same course, extension of the fundamental courses, we will be taking out this one. That's why, in seventh semester, eighth semester, even sixth semester, you will have the elective courses. Basically, elective courses means you will be looking at it, the different topics of interest, and where do you want to fix yourself for this one. Sometimes, some of the universities or institutes, like, we don't have many elective courses, which is okay. Which is okay based on the availability of the faculty members, we can do this one. Even now, that is also not a problem, because there are so many online courses are available. Even if it is not available in your institute, so we can always go out and take an online course, learn ourselves, and then get exposure also. That is very much possible nowadays than the previous time for this one. So there are a lot of avenues. I'm looking at it whether, it's the right directions, but this is what fact is happening back. And obviously, when it comes to the fourth year, we might be able to be very clear. Means at least at the end of the third year or fourth year, it might be clear. Some of us will say, no, I don't want. I will sit in the placement, get a job. I wanted to go to the banking sector. I wanted to go to this core research, core branch, or somebody will think that, no, I'm not keen on going to industry. Rather, I'm planning to write my own exams, for example, I will write prepare a GRE and TOEFL, go abroad, or IELTS, I will go to UK or US or any European countries. If not, okay, I will be writing a GATE and then try to get the masters in good institutes in India. Or somebody will be thinking that, okay, let me write a CAT and then go to MBA, and then I'll go in the management side like that. So these are all will be happening in the third year and the fourth year for this one. So in order to give an avenue for us to understand a little bit, there is a a curriculum which is designed for any department like this. We need to do at least a 6 months project, or it could be a research project, or it could be a development project with an industry for that. So how much efficiently we are using, that's a different story. But there is a component which is their project. And nowadays, you could also see this kind of a projects. Means it is also coming in your courses also. At least in advanced courses, sometimes they will tell us it's a mini project or summer project, summer intern, winter intern. All these things in popping around to us. Okay, I mean, so sometimes they used to tell that one, okay, I'm taking this X course. Possibly, means 3 or 4 of you can join together, and then you can make a mini project for the project for the sports, and then we will give you a good grades, for example. Or when you go for that one, I can give you good recommendations. It's all different avenues, and sometimes what will happen, we'll try to get the internship outside country or outside the institute, sometimes other outside companies or some startups. All these things used to happen when we try to understand that. That's why I'm telling that one, whatever we have decided in the second year or the first year, this may change after third year, because when you go for intern or when you go for research, you will be thinking, okay, I'm not, though I have an idea towards the industry, I may not fit well for the industry, but I may be looking for a academic position, or vice versa. Some of them think there's one, no. Let me, I mean, so for my attitude, I might fit in academician than the industry. So some people think about it, but when they go to do an intern, whether it's directly forced or unforced, we will be able to get an information, means, well, I may not fit for whatever I'm thinking that one. I may not fit for academician, or I may be fitting very well for an industrial job than the academicians. Like that. So that may change. That's not the question. But means overall, we will be able to get the information from the day one of our UG program till this end to some extent. Of course, some of us always that one, okay, let us enjoy 4 years and then we'll see after that what we can do. That will also happen. Some people will think that, okay, we can focus only on fourth year and see whether we can get the placement and get rid of all the studies. That is that is some percentage of us will also do that business. That's okay. Means we are always, going to talk about this maximum percentage that people want prefer to do than the minimum set of people which they wanted to in a different way. All right. So having said this particular case, when we come to the research perspective, like there are few pondering around points in my opinion. So what could be the possible one? This is what I just browsed, in the internet and see this one, and what could be the possible way, whether we were thinking about we wanted to be in a research. Like first point is, which I liked it, basically learn to think like a scientist. Right, I used to give a typical example that whenever we are studying the basic math courses, I remember that physics, math, and chemistry, we may be thinking it's a science, but without physics, math, and chemistry, we cannot do any engineering at all. So, like only the difference is in mathematics, what would have been done, this one we would have been derived many theorems stating that one left hand side is equal to right hand side. This is what we would have been tried to prove in our means mathematics. But when you come to this our engineering, what we'll do, left hand side can be approximately equal to right hand side. This is acceptable. In mathematics point of view, only this is acceptable. This is not acceptable at all. Like we don't want approximations, we want always a perfect one. That is only one difference. So what engineers will do this one, left hand side is not equal to right hand side, no problem at all. We can make it with respect to factor of safety, something like that, and then try to write the factor, make it left hand side is equal to right hand side. That is the difference. But whatever the factor which we are trying to multiply to relate that one, that is the one which is going to give us a judgment or the decision as an engineer. That is the only one difference between the mathematician and, in my opinion, between the engineering graduate. Apart from that one, any problem you take it, anything you talk about is without math, without physics, even though sometimes many of us will be talking about engineering mechanics. We think that one engineering mechanics is it's an engineering course, but it is not. Even physics people will be talking about this engineering mechanics extensively in their courses and their topics on that. But doesn't mean that one means it has to be only focused on a particular topic. Same thing in the chemistry also. So, for example, physically, when there is When you talk about, when are you going to use a glue, when you are going to solder a material, means we need to know what kind of a chemistry is happening, why it is bonding well, what kind of, it's a chemical bonding, or it is a some other bonding, or why there is a degradation. All the things, chemistry form comes into this one. Even though we are not studying extensively all the science courses, but ideally, it is mandatory for engineering. Without that, we cannot survive. So that's the reason why, means whenever there is a course, whenever there is a topic which we are going to do, we have to think, learn to think like a scientist. Not like, as I told you, means, okay, I solved the problem, that is fine. That's all my objective. That should not be there. Rather, you will be looking at it as a scientist. What do you mean by that one? If there is a, as I told you in the mathematics, if someone is telling you to derive these integrations and the differentiation, what is the difference between the integration and the differentiation? Where do we need to integrate it? Why are we doing that one? Why are we discretizing differentiation? Why are you doing this one? Why are you differentiating this one? What are you going to get that one? Right? So these are all the few points which ideally means we have to think, and then why are we using integration in these equations? Why not differentiation? What is the boundary conditions we are using this one? Why do you need to give these boundary conditions? Like this, it would be better to think rather, simply answer the questions. Like that could be this, right? Look for questions, not subjects. This is another point. It means like, we always think that, in general, we always think that one, okay, asking the questions is not a good idea. That many times we have an attitude, but that has to be changed, in my opinion. That one just means you may not have an answer, and it is not necessary all the time you have to answer the questions for all the questions. There are many questions. If you are not able to answer, then only you go back and read it and see this one. So it is better not to answer all the questions, and it's better to ask for many questions, which will be making both the side win-win situations in many cases. Mentoring is an important research. I think this is what means. We call us somebody is doing masters or PhD, MS or PhD. We call us an advisors or we call us a mentors. Rather, it's like a guide. Of course, in undergrad we call us a guide because means the serious version of mentoring is called guide, in my opinion. It's a strict officer kind of a stuff, what we call as a guide. Mentoring is like a free officer, that's all. Means give them more freedom. They are only going to mentor you. This might be a good idea if you do like this. That's the way how mentoring. If it is a guide enforcing you, no, I'm telling you, you have to solve by this way. Kind of it is an attitude of a guide. That's okay. Means sometimes because we may not be strong in that area, there are somebody who is experienced in that one. They will be able to give you more information for this one. So typically, if you take, means today people are talking about this COVID, and all of us we are talking about that. It's a complete statistics, means any development of a medical pharmacy development, it will take 10 years at least come to the market. But ideally, what it is going to happen that this may not, at this moment, it may not be possible. 10 years, we cannot wait. So what they do is one, they try to do the judgment, and then, means typically if you take a vaccine, and like in the vaccine, it was, even though within a year it was launched, but still it may not be that effective. It will be very effective, no doubt about that one, but it cannot completely subside that one. For example, means people are talking about in the third wave, you have Omicron of 90%. How do they know it's a 90%? It's a statistics. They cannot do all this, means special test for, suppose today 145, 1.45 lakhs of people are tested for COVID. They will be, it is giving you COVID positive. But among that one, like how much are they, can we do for all the for 1,45,000 people? Can we do once again, means that the special test for identify whether it's Omicron or Omicron? It is will be only costly business, and it takes its own sweet time to decide to give the results. So what will happen? They take a sample, and based on the sample, they do that one. For example, 1,000 samples or 100 samples, they may take it from today's 1.4 lakhs. Then they do the test and see this one among the 100 samples, 90 samples maybe Omicron variant. So it's all statistics. So how do they take the 100 points? That is a different story, right? Means different districts, they may be taking two samples from some districts, or what they may do. In the case are very high, for example, X, Y, and cities, they may take 50% of 5 cities together, and rest of the place in the state will be considered to be only 50 samples. So it's all statistics. So means it is important for us. Why I'm talking about this one? There are sometimes it is necessary, like statistics plays a vital role, and it's a judgment. So what kind of a judgment can be given for that? Sometimes as a UG scholar, we may not be in a position to do the judgment. Rather, this will be helped by mentoring to us, will be helping that one. The fourth one is like it's very important, reach out with the confidence. I mean, like whether we have done a good work or bad work, is better to openly go with a confidence. Sir, I didn't get the results, but I'm confident that one I learned a lot during this period. Like all the time we should not be we cannot expect a success. Like I'm trying to develop a product, when I'm launching it or when I'm doing a testing, it may fail. So immediately doesn't mean that one, means means whatever you have done is a waste. No, the way how you learn to come to this till this last point, it's very important. So that what will happen if you suppose you take a next another work, even though that first project is failure, like means and the exposure what you got for that one, it will help you to do the second one. And so you may be very fast and you may not make many mistakes what in the first time when we do try to learn that one. That is very important and to this one. But nevertheless, even though if there is a failure, if we have done that work and we may be very confident to answer the questions openly that why there is a failure. Okay, this is the reason it could be, even though I thought it will work, so it is a failure for it could be this particular reason when I analyze that why failure happened. So I will be working on it and then get back to this one. So that kind of a confidence we should have any time if we are thinking about any research-based one. It doesn't mean that one development you don't need confidence, but it is very important in the means in the research profile, in my opinion. All right. So, but means how do we start, or where do we start? This is the question we'll be pondering around with many of you. So it's a very simple. Means first start your research with the reading and keep reading. This is one of the very important means exercise whenever we are doing this one. So it is very important for us to understand that what was already done and what is the thing. First, we have to understand what was already done and how it was done, what is the benefit of that one, and also what is the limitation of this. If you are able to understand that, then it may be better for us to take it out to the next step for this one. Like for example, if you see this one, let us take a simple example. Like one day, I mean, there is a lot of toll plazas available in the highways. I mean, so people were paying and then getting it done. Then suddenly, means government kind of told that, okay, no, you have to avoid as much as possible payment by cash, rather you go for e-payment. So we will let us go with the FASTag. So suddenly it was announced. And people were very much agitated and telling that no, it will be difficult and these things. But I mean, so still the policy was taken and decision, and then it started off moving. The first 2 weeks may be a nightmare for this one. Sometimes the camera may not focus properly. Sometimes with the server, this may not sync well. Sometimes the boom may not open it properly. Like this, many problems will be there. But at the end of the day, means what they are keep on looking at it and sorting out the problem. Anything when you start off with the initial stage, you will have you need a lot of thrust to move that one. But once it is done, then it is easy. This is what would have been also done in your static and kinetic frictions whenever we talk in physics. The static friction is higher than the kinetic friction. The reason for or dynamic friction, because a material is under the rest. You need to apply very high force to push this one. That's why if you look into the two-wheeler or four-wheeler, the bike and the gears, the first gear, you will have very high torque and low speed. And slowly second gear, the speed will be more, torque will be little less. And like this, when you go to the fifth gear, the torque will be less and the speed will be more, or like vice versa. So something like that, means this will be keep on happening, and we need to really do that one. We need to read a lot to understand and keep continuous reading for that. And set the specific goal for yourself and let your mentors know about. That's pretty important. Like many times this is a very and we will always to be over ambitious. It is fine to have ambitious, but sometimes what happens that one, it may not be within the limit. It may go beyond the limit. Obviously, that will get upset us and as well as the mentor. So it is better to set a goal. Sir, this is the week. I can do 1 week. I can only work this much. I cannot do more than that. So I promise you only to deliver this one topic in this week. So that should be there. Means make a target and be having a specific goal. This week, I can able to only work for this particular topic. So specific goals. I have 10 goals. It will take 10 weeks for me to do, or 20 weeks to be there. And it should be better to tell the mentor that, okay, the target for this week is attaining the goal one, something like that. It might be really helping you. And next, suppose sometimes we may not be able to attain the specific goal in a time, no problem at all. We don't need to worry, but rather it is very important for us, means to tell the people or to know a mentor, no, this one, sir, I tried to make it, but it didn't work. However, these are all the reasons possibly that it didn't work. What should I do? Am I thinking in a good sense? I mean, I think my thought process is okay, or did I make any mistake, or can you suggest me how to proceed like that? So this is very important in my opinion to do this one. As I told you that one, means always I like it's not so easy. Research takes time, right? As I told you, like means if they are trying to invent a new medicine, and like means it takes at least 10 years to come to the market. Means in general, they have to do many clinical trials and then ensure that one it should not affect other side effects, or looking for the side effects, and the side effects are not significant. All these things to do this one. So in order to do that one, you need to have research, and it takes time. Means it's hard. If you do overnight, sometimes it may not work properly, right? So sometimes even after doing the research, after even the development, when it comes to the practical situation, there may be other problems. That's a different story. That also we need to be taken into account properly. For example, at least 4 or 5 years before, you may be aware of that one. Like now, means the Boeing Dreamliner had some issues. They said this one, the software development is automated in such a way that one, the nose of the based on the wind speed, and the nose, means the nose of the fuselage will be automatically changing the directions. That has a problem, for example. So what happened? Boeing Dreamliner was grounded for some time, or means I think Boeing Max. One of this one Boeing Max, I think, that was grounded for some time to solve the problem before it started off this one. This is a practical problem comes after that one. But nevertheless, sometimes you may also keep in mind that one, we have to give enough time for the research. We cannot expect overnight to do everything that. Also, a healthy balance. What do you mean by healthy balance? Means there is a myth always in some of the books, or in sometimes in some of the movies also. Like means researchers, like they may not, means they don't have time. That's why they don't even shave. They have a beard. They have very long hair. Sometimes means they don't bother about. They go with slippers, and they may be stinking. They don't go for taking bath. They will be using the same dress for many days. All these things, there is sometimes it is projected. So they may not eat on time. All these things are there. That's what, in other words, it is saying that we have to have a healthy balance. Like you have to Though it takes time, though you need some solutions for whatever there's immediately, but you shouldn't compromise on your balance of life, particularly with health. So morning, 1 hour I'm going for jogging. Yes, we should do that one. Doesn't matter that okay whether the problem is still able to clear it or not able to clear it. These things should be able to take care of that. And the financial support, of course, suddenly you wanted to develop making a prototype, there is a necessary for the financial support. I think if you have a good idea at this moment in India, financial support is absolutely no problem at all. Always think about the big picture. I mean, as I told you that one, means you can always do be an aspirant and to think big. But whether we are able to achieve that one, that is a different story. But then, in other, until you think big, it will be very difficult for us to start. And it's not only about the thinking, but we have to also start implementing that. But you need to have a specific goals to achieve that one, and everything can it be possible to achieve? Yeah, well, some of us can definitely achieve, can achieve. Many of us may not be, or many of us can achieve. Some of us may not be, but doesn't matter. But thinking about that is a good thing, but at the same time, setting a target is also matters. So, so that, in my opinion, means whenever you have the second year, and I used to tell this BTECs, and particularly in ITM, so they know that one, they have a proper plan, means from when they start the third semester and fourth semester, they may, third to fourth semester, some you have a winter vacations. So some of these students, what they do, they would have been taken some courses and they may fascinated about the courses. They may start working little bit on that winter vacation, between the third semester to fourth semester. Obviously, fourth semester to fifth semester, there is from second year to third year, you may have a summer intern, summer vacation. They try to go for a 2 months or 3 months summer intern, work in industry or work in academia or both. Means the industrial oriented problem who is handling in academia for that one. Then possibly that, means once the semester starts, they may be busy with the courses. Then the third year winter, once again, in December, January, November, December, January, may not have, and generally what happened, winter vacation and will be the break for between the winter and summer semesters, it will be a bit less, but that's okay. Means they try to continue whatever it was done earlier. And obviously, third year, summer, before the fourth year comes, they may, once again, there will be another summer intern. They may, people may think that one, let us go to abroad for a summer intern, or they may go to an industry, showing that one, we have started off working already, we have some progress, but it is not necessary that industry or other places used to give similar kind of a work, but that will give that one, okay, an idea that you have started off working on something in that. So by the third year, when you do this summer intern in let us take in an industry, and they are very convinced with your work, they may give you, the free placement offer. Otherwise, having experience with your research, you may be able to show in the fourth year, and then you may be able to get a job. If not, you may be whatever, if you are able to get some work, and you may be able to continue for the project for your undergrad. And then at the end of the day, you may convert into a conference paper or a journal paper. Some of you wanted to go for masters abroad or anywhere in as well. With this may enhance your applications to get a chance to clear good universities. So this is the way how, means we have to schedule that one, because overnight things won't happen. It takes time. And means it's also like many goals will be there, but what we can. So I used to tell that one, means sometimes we go for unlimited meals, but there are many things will be available, but our stomach can eat or take only a few items. So we need to know that one, even though my plate is full, or it means there are many food can be can be taken in unlimited buffet, but there is always know that one, my stomach cannot take. I can only eat this much. So that the cutoff should be there. So sometimes what happens, we get exhausted. Excited when you see an exhaustive food. We try to eat like, as much as possible, which we may not be acquainted to all the time, then we may end up with the health issues. So that should not be here. That is the one and way I'm telling that, means we will be getting stressful. We have many aims and we are not able to achieve that one. We will be always in a depression. So better to achieve the target which is feasible and what in range we can able to do that one. Whether it is not, whether whatever I am attaining the goal, it should not make me to stress. That's also matters. Once you start off stressing, stress yourself, you may not be able to succeed in research and neither in research nor in development. We may keep on making the mistakes for that one. So it's better. No, means suppose today you are trying to solve a mathematical formulation. Tonight you are not able to get it. Just leave it out and close it and then do, because you may not be in a position to do the same thing once again, and sometimes many mistakes it won't be noted to you that time. Only next day, just to relax or do some other work, and after some time when you go back, by the time you might be thinking similar kind of a stuff, and it may keep on going in your mind, and you may be able to solve the problem. So, means that is also matter sometimes that, so we have to have a, like, means a balance about this particular case. And it doesn't work, keep it for a while and then focus on something, then come back to that one. Possibly you may be able to get a successful output from that. Yeah, means whenever we are talking about the research projects, like, means you always, I would prefer to write a very short write-up on whatever we are planning to do. First is the background, right? Background means like, means today, something you would have been seen. For example, like, means today's scenario means e-waste. Is one of the state of the problem all of us are facing. What is the background? So you will look into this one. How much e-waste in India is have been generated, and like what are all the hazards due to the e-waste is going to happen to that one, and all these things is the background of that work. And from that one, you will see from the background you may end up with a question, right? Okay. Question is, okay, means what kind of a hazard is going to happen? Okay, if I don't want to get disturbed, it should not hazard our health system. What should I do for that? Like that, there are few questions we might be there, and you have to write it, and then go to the hypothesis. Okay, suppose if I am able to get a solution, how will it be looking like that one? So there should be a hypothesis along with subsequently to the questions what you have asked should be there. And then you have to have a method. Okay, means we will be confident that one we have understand the background, we understand what kind of a questions in my mind and how will be the hypothesis for that particular questions. And from that one, okay, suppose I am convinced myself that one I should be able to start the problem and possibly I may be able to get a successful output from that one. Yeah, if it is yes or no, what is the method which I am going to progress that work? So not only reading will help us, but you have to start working on that one. That's what kind of a method, the methodology, the alternative is also called a methodology. Like for example, first 6 months I am focusing on that. Second 6 months, third 6 months. Like that, I will put a methodology. This is the first goal I will try to attain. Then the second goal. Like that, we need to go. And finally, then this methodology is very important, which is also a time deadline will also be there in that one. And apart from that one, what is the finally, okay, let us say by using this methodology, we are able to successfully get the project output from the project, or partially we are able to get the project, but the learning was so nice, many failures, but my learnings are pretty good. Suppose if you think that one, and from that one, you can write a significance outcome or what is the significance about the outcome from this project. That could also be appropriately and justified or put it out in a particular form for the project. So there is a small template, you can start putting these things, 2 pages like that. And it might be helpful, means after reading and then getting some information, and that may be a good note for you as well as for mentors to check and to see what we could do then. Yeah, means some of the topics, interesting topics I was pondering around, like means something like mechanical engineering. If you take it, this is microfluidic fabrications for this one. So one would argue this one, what do you mean by microfluidic and this one? So for example, some people painless injections are coming out. Means for diabetic patients now, they may come up with means painless microfluidic I mean some microfluidic based painless needleness particles or infusions will be there. It may be when you have a band-aid like that, this one, and so for the diabetic patients, the medicines can be go via that one. And sometimes you would have been seen this one. Nowadays, particularly for diabetic patients, there are sensors available. So what the sensors used to do this one, so the sensors will have a very flexible one small micro needle. So the doctors used to apply it in our hand with a small extension, small like a circular part, which is a sensor, and it is IoT, means that will be connected with externally without means without any wire. You can always monitor in your app-based one, and it will be running your body. It will be there in your body for 15 days, and you will be able to get how your diabetic or how your sugar level. And for the doctors, I mean, see, this will generate a very nice output graph, and that will be helpful to the doctors. This is one of the examples. So microfluidic, how do we make this channel to be fabrication? Maybe an interesting topic. Numerical investigations, like means experiments is always a very tough. Can we do a theoretical study? So I have done in my undergraduate numerical methods. So can I do some kind of a numerical investigations? There are many topics can be there. I'm just putting numerical integrations. So I don't want to, some of us we will be thinking that one. We don't want to, the dirty our fingers. Means I don't want experiments. I want to see the white color job and do in computers. So possibly numerical investigations can be one of the topic. And storage system, bioprinted tissues, hybrid hydrostatic transmission in wind turbines. I'm giving some of the topics. Means like that you can think about aerospace people, aircraft flights, means parallel speed real-time tracking system. I mean, this is very common nowadays, and GPS does the job. But even Ola, Uber, even our own bike, all these things can be monitored properly. But sometimes there will be a time lag. Can we try to improve that? Motion tracking orientation sensor. This kind of a motion tracking orientation sensor. Now driverless cars, Tesla and others are coming up that one. They may be very keen on this kind of a topic, like unmanned air vehicles. Wherein always batteries will be used. Batteries is very heavy. So can I make a very efficient small electro batteries? This may be able to take the UAV to run for instead of half an hour. Drones will take it out instead of half an hour. I can make it in efficiently to run for 1 hour, right? So that kind of stuff, we can always do look into that one. And the computer science, honestly, I'm just putting one. Doesn't mean that one I didn't put for chemical engineering, civil engineering. There are so many. Just I'm giving an idea, like means study of the spread of misinformation in social networks. So this is one of the so today is a major concern about that one. So via social media, we will be getting very useful. Many times we may not get an useful thing. It's also making us to making us to afraid a lot by looking this one. Sometimes what is happening, too much of available facilities available, data is available, which also makes us to think, particularly for our for the humans. If you look into that one, if you get a sick, immediately we'll go to the Google and we search it, right? Yeah, I have a pain, I have this one. So for everything there will be a standard, and whatever you are writing that one, they will say it could be possible this, it could be possible that. So this is, we are trying to ourselves train ourselves like a doctor. And Google is our means once again another doctor to help us to get the information. So there will be a lot of things which may not be fit for our requirements, but still we are bounded to search for that one. That's what I'm talking about. The means and how this misinformation may really irritate us and that one. So that could be the interesting study to do in computer science. How much misinformation in the social media networks is really spoiling this one. And like controlling the growing tasks, then computer game. I mean, these are all available, but you can always look into this an alternative one. And then the 3D human body model from 2D images, like, means, this is a very nice example, you would have been seeing that uh, if you were like, what is that one? This lens card or spec maker. Like if you want to see whether means in this frame of your lens glass eyewear, whether it is able to fix it well or not. What you do, I mean, if you have photo, it will allow you to take a photo, and then you is asking you to rotate left hand side, right hand side, and then it will try to fit and like means some of the it will suggest you some of the glass frames for you. Like that, I mean, and today many other companies, like for example, Pothys, Aranke, all these companies, like means textile industries, they started off, means making a 3D animation. Like for example, take your photo and you can click that particular dress. It will automatically suits your body and can show you then how you are looking like in that. So this is basically 3D constructions from the 2D images. Like that, many cases, like automatic control of a design and the failure directions like that. So all these things, means we can always pondering around which might be the. I'm simply giving this one. For example, there are so many problems which our country, means particularly the villages are facing for that one. So the water irrigation problems, how to efficiently use the water, all these things, and we can take it out and we can really look into that one, how to channelize it, how to optimize that. All these things can be done. So at the end, outset, I would just want to finish that one. Research experience under the direct supervision as a faculty or other member, particularly for the research in the undergrad level. And this research experience should be there with the faculty or other research methods. We should be in a position to talk to the research methods directly to put our opinion on this one. Work alongside research methods and the larger projects. There is a possibility, as I told you, that one, there may be many bigger projects may have many deliverables. Of course, there are many people who will be working in that one, but nevertheless, you can always look into that one. Okay, means you may get many more exposure. You may not get the results, but you may be acquainted to expose yourself to many cases and gain research experience and tools for that one. So this is obviously is going to happen. Develop scholarly research skills and the knowledge from this one. Okay. Obviously, it means, means when you talk to some people, you will be able to see that one, the way how the knowledge and skills is going to be there. The way, I mean, suppose you are interacting with, with a particular person, and for some days, and your thinking process will change, provided I don't want to change, that's a different story, but obviously there will be a thinking process which might be changing for this one. Means it is always important to seek an opportunity for a long term experience. As I told you that one, in a short time, a few slides before I told you that one, research cannot be overnight, it takes time. So you need to take an experience like a winter vacation, summer vacations, and so on, so that one, because during the semester time you may be busy with the coursework, so you may not be able to spend enough time, but still weekends you can think about that. And it is better to be engaged and maximize opportunity by committing time and energy to one particular project. Also, sometimes what happens, some of us enthusiastically, when we want to work, we will put our legs in 4 different projects. At the end of the day, it is very difficult for us to spend enough time because we are also human beings. We are also having a limited time. We have other commitments. So better, you take, you can go to the large project, no problem at all. But you take a one particular project, try to focus on a particular project and a particular problem. You try to finish first before you take it out this one. Many times this is the problem. So it is like, means today I will be working on this one. I'm thinking, no, this project is not that, means interesting after reading few days. Okay, let me go to some other projects. Okay, I read that. No, that's not a right attitude, which may not give you, means final solution. That's the main thing. You may not be able to learn anything at the end of the day. And at last, I just want to tell you that one, whenever you are doing the research, you may not be able to get the solution at the end of the day. So you don't need to worry about whether you are getting successfully the solution or not. Doesn't matter. The experience and the learning, whatever the failures, whatever you are trying to get it, and we are trying to get it, is always giving you a good learning progress from the starting to the ending for this one. 3 years at the end, you may not be able to be successful. There may be a failure. There may be a huge failure. Doesn't matter for that one. So it takes some time. That's the way how it comes up when we are trying to develop, means some of the, as a country, we are trying to develop some of the technology. Many times, like, means our means GSLV, PSLV has also failed initially. So it is a learning process. It took time, and slowly they try to understand why there is a failure, and the scientists trying to work on that one. And to some extent, that one, means now we are able to be stable in such a way that one, there are some other countries are sending their satellites, and we are able to launch it with our own satellites to for them also support that. So that level we have come. So I mean, without the failures, nothing will be happening. And of course, failures also is okay for us. But only thing is the learning we have to keep in mind. Where do they mistake? For example, we are trying to drive. Suppose like we don't have GPS, and we don't have network sometimes. So if you are acquainted all the time to look at the GPS and to drive that one, I know sometimes suddenly it's solved. We will be completely off for that one. So it is very important that how to look into these boards, also sign boards, which will also help us to derive this one, to drive to the particular place. Of course, sometimes what happens, we may be going the wrong route. That's okay, man. But there may be a delay. All the things is okay. But at the end of the day, next time when you drive the same route, you will keep in mind that oh, we have to be very cautious because in this particular junction, I have to take a right turn. Rather, I have taken the left side for that. So that could be sometimes, means that is the thing. Even GPS, many times we also make mistakes, right? It will show the shortest way to go for that one. When you go that, you may not be in a position to reach it. Few times, I mean, and the road may be very small, or there may be a blocked, and it won't be like shown in the real time updates in the GPS. These are all the few issues used to happen also. So better, means like even if there is a failure, nothing wrong about that one. Take as it is, and then go with that one. This is what at the end of the day I just want to give you. And as an UG researchers, sometimes we may not be successful, and even not only UG, even in PG level as a researcher, we may not be successful, but uh, accept it's not successful. At the same time, we understand the learnings and keep the learnings, because that's very important in my opinion. And also we have to give enough space and time for everything to make it. There is a time for everything. So I cannot expect, suppose a passenger car, I want to design and go it takes 2 years. I wanted to give it within a day. It may within 6 months. It may not be possible. Even if it is a possible, the product may not be a good product because there may be a lot of flaws will be there. So better to give enough time, focus, and then see how we can achieve as much as possible about the goals for that one. Aspiration is different than setting the goals. These two are completely different. We can aspire for something, but what we have limitation, how to go towards that one is very important in my opinion. So with this one, I'll stop. I'll be glad to take questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your insight view on research. So let me request the participants to clarify your queries. If you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and you can ask.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Hi, sir. Sir, can you explain about the hybridization of hydrostatic transmission in a wind turbine, sir?
See, this is very specific question related to the projects. So I have given only an idea about what are the possible and different questions which is available. So what ideally what you need to look into that one, who is an expert in that field. For example, I am a materials person. For example, in my opinion, if you talk about the hybrid transmissions, what will happen that one? Means there are two things when it is going to in windmills. The windmill one is this the self weight of that one. So if I want to reduce the self weight of this windmill or wind blades, which is kind of means to reduce if the weight is very less and it is able to rotate very fast, and we may be able to get a more power. But then what will happen that one, the when it is going to go for very fast, when you are reducing the weight, obviously the strength and stiffness may reduce for this one. In that case, can I try to develop a material in such a way that one which can have a hybridization in such a way that one I can reduce the weight, at the same time the strength and stiffness of the material should not be compromised, so that it won't fail even if it is running in a very high speed, whatever the speed of that one. That could be one of the topic which we can look into this one. For example, some people hybridization uses is not only the wind energy, but also there are some electromagnetic fields will also be available. Can I able to tap the electromagnetic fields which is available in the earth, that can also tap into generating a power? This could be another hybridization. Like that, there are different kind of possibilities will be available. So it means, means there will be a lot of data which will be available in the literature. So we need to look into that one and then decide about that particular topic which we wanted to work on that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Are there any participant? Participants, if you do not have doubt, then we can close the session. So, anyone? Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the valuable training, and
Thank you, sir.
we have given a nice presentation. So I hope this will further enhance the UG students for getting into research. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Participants, so thank you so much for registering this one-day workshop on research at undergraduate level, importance, benefits, and challenges. I hope these two professors from whom you heard, Dr. Mohit La and Dr. Arockiarajan, they are closely working with undergraduate students, and they have given fruitful results. And Chennai Institute of Technology also has been working on in the same way, and we have got some fruitful results with by nurturing the research at the undergraduate level. So I hope this workshop might have given some good knowledge enhancement and good understanding for you to get into research, or some faculties are in this group, and certainly this will help you to guide your students to further guide them in research. And so since we need to affix your passport size photograph and the certificate, so it will 2 days time to issue the certificate. So I hope the certificate will be issued within Sunday night. So please bear for the 2 days to get the certificate. And also we are conducting another program in the month of February between 21st to 25. So we have called 10 professors from IIT, 10 professors of IITM, IIT Madras, IIT Patna, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi. So those who are interested to participate in the workshop, you can register for the particular workshop. I will also share the information, program information, and the poster to a mail ID. So those who are interested to learn about additive manufacturing, there is one of the technology which is going to rule the world for sometimes hereafter. So I will share the information also. Those who are interested, you can register for the workshop also. Okay. So thank you so much. If any doubt, you can clarify with me.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
next month program will be conducted as online or offline?
Online only. Online only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So others, do you want to clarify anything with me?
Excuse me,
Well,
sir.
yeah, please.
Sir, some of my friends also log in, sir,
Okay.
but they could not get mail.
No. So if they have, I have sent the mail to all the registered participants till morning 12 o'clock. Till 12 o'clock, I have sent them mail. So you tell them to talk with me. So let me talk with them, and how to rectify, I will talk with them. So please you tell them to talk with me. Okay. So I have given, if they have registered with correct mail ID, the mail might have reached their inbox. So please tell them to check. So else I will be, I will try to share the recorded video to them, so to enhance their knowledge. So you convey your friends to talk to me.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. First, okay. Once again, just I share the poster of the particular workshop which is going to be conducted in the next week. Just okay. So the information of the workshop which is going to be conducted in the next month, as I said. So 1 week short-term course on additive manufacturing characterization. So all the 10 professors who are extensively working on additive manufacturing. So we have covered the professors from all the IITs almost, IIT Kharagpur, Delhi, IIT Jammu, IIT Kanpur, IIT Guwahati, okay, IIT Jammu, IIT IITM Jabalpur, then IIT Jodhpur, and IIT Dharwad. So almost all the professors who have done their postdoctoral degree from Eminem Institute in US and Canada. So their expertise will certainly help you to better understand the additive manufacturing technology, and will help you to reach some heights in the additive manufacturing research. So those who are interested, the link will also be shared along with the feedback form of the particular workshop. So those who are interested, you can register, and if your friends are in need of that, you can forward the information to your friends also. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you. We would like to meet you in some other program. Thank you so much. Let me end the meet. Thank you all. So please, you can leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any information, so you can send message through WhatsApp also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Pa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.